Get ready for some Halloween-themed food that's sure to add a spooky touch to any lunchbox or party. Welcome to my channel, Pack, Eat, Repeat. Our first Halloween-themed food are these witches' brooms. I'm going to use Twizzlers, but I also saw this recipe made with chives, so you can use that if you want more of a savory touch. I'm going to peel the pull and peel Twizzlers apart and then cut them into about 2-inch long strips. Next, I'm going to take some string cheese and cut it into fourths. Now you just take each little piece of string cheese and peel it apart about halfway. This is going to be the little bristles on our witches' brooms. Next, I'm going to take a small pretzel stick and just stick it right down in the middle of our string cheese. And it looks like a little broom already. Now I'm going to tie this Twizzler around the top of the broom. Now that part was really easy to do, but I decided that I didn't really want to taste Twizzlers along with string cheese and pretzels. So for the rest of them, I didn't use the Twizzlers, and I actually ended up taking it off at the end because I thought they looked pretty cute with just the pretzel and the cheese. Also, without having to tie that tiny little thing on there, it made it super quick to make. These probably took me about 3 minutes tops. Now I made these for my daughter's lunch and they looked super cute inside her Halloween lunch, but I did notice that the pretzels got a little soggy by the end of the day, so definitely make these right before you need to serve. Our next Halloween themed food idea are these little tiny candy corn flatbreads. It's always nice to have some savory food to go along with all the candy and cookies that we get at Halloween, so I made this up to put in my daughter's lunchbox. I started out by chopping up some cauliflower, some carrots, and some yellow bell pepper to go along with the color scheme of real candy corn. Then I got these individual flatbreads, which originally I was just going to take one flatbread and cut it into triangles, but I found these and thought the shape was perfect. Now I'm going to add my daughter's favorite food at the moment, hummus. I'm just going to take it and spread it right on top of all these flatbreads. Now, I needed to remind myself of the color scheme of an actual candy corn, so I got one out just to make sure I was doing it in the right order. So I'm going to start by adding a little bit of yellow bell pepper to the bottom. Next comes the orange, so that's the carrots. And then the cauliflower. Now, my daughter told me that she did not like raw cauliflower the last time I put it in her lunch, so I'm going to see if I can slip some in on her and convince her of how yummy it is on these little candy corns. And that's it, candy corn flatbread. Now, I'm always on the lookout for super quick snacks for lunch boxes and parties, and these yogurt-covered pretzels were as quick as they come. First, I found these pumpkin spice pretzels, and I love pumpkin spice. It's my favorite food group basically, and they were already orange, which is great. If you don't have these that are already orange, you can just melt some orange candy melts and dip the pretzels in, and that'll make them orange for your pumpkins. Next, I got some white chocolate, and I just melted a little bit. I put it in the microwave for 10 seconds, and I had to do that about 4 times, stirring each time in between until it was nice and melted. Next, I'm going to put some green food coloring in my melted white chocolate and just stir it around. Keep adding until it's the color that you like. Next, I got a plastic baggie. Of course, you can use an icing bag if you have one. And I put the melted chocolate right inside. And just snip a little hole right in the tip. And this will act as my icing bag. So I'm going to go through and add a little stem to each one. Be sure to get a fair amount of chocolate on top of the pretzel. This way your stems will stick really well. I let these sit out for about 20 minutes, but if you're in a rush, you can just put them on a cookie sheet and pop them in the fridge. And that's it. Your whole family will love these. They'll be the first to go at a party. They were delicious. Next up, sugar skull flatbreads. Now, I made these for my daughter's lunch and they took way longer than expected, but came out beautifully. I took a flatbread and added some Nutella. Next, I got this cookie cutter shaped like a skull and put it lightly on top. Next, I took a little bit of cream cheese that I had softened up in the microwave and I just spread it inside of the cookie cutter. Now, this part takes a little bit of a light hand because I didn't want to get the Nutella mixed in with the cream cheese. I wanted it to look nice and white. Of course, there are some spots where it did mix in and that's okay. I was able to fix that afterwards or cover it up with fruit. But for the most part, just kind of be gentle and spread that cream cheese around. After you make this, if you let it sit in the refrigerator for a little while, that cream cheese hardens right back up. Now, if you have any sort of artistic ability, you could probably just do the skull freehand, but that is not one of my gifts and it would have looked horrible, so I just used the cookie cutter as a stencil. Now I'm going to use this kiwi to make some eyes. So I just sliced it up and then I put some little mini chocolate chips in the middle for the eyeballs. And after that, I just grabbed a bunch of different types of fruits and used my imagination to see how I can make this sugar skull look bright and festive, not too scary for my daughter, but still tasty. And I think it came out pretty great. Now I can say that this was a lot more tedious than I wanted it to be at 10 o'clock at night after a 10-hour workday when I was making lunch for my daughter. So I probably won't make these again for her lunchbox, but I would definitely make it for a Saturday morning breakfast or even cut up some fruit and let the girls decorate their own sugar skull. I think that would be a really fun activity to do. So that's it. Just use your imagination, cut up the fruit in tiny little colorful pieces, and just go with it. I thought this came out looking super cute and I had one for breakfast and it was really good. You can't go wrong with Nutella and cream cheese. It sort of tasted like a cheesecake but with fruit. Then I made just a few little candy flowers to go around. Since I was making this for Acacia's lunchbox, I wanted to make sure there was some fruit in there. I added some little pick stems just to make it even more colorful, and that was it. I actually made two of these little guys because I just had some extra fruit, so I had one for breakfast too and it was delicious. Next up, Spiderweb flatbreads. Now, this was an idea that I just came up with on the fly because I had some extra bell peppers that I wanted to use up. And my first attempt did not look as good as my second. So what you're seeing here is my second attempt at this. And I think the key to making these look like actual spider webs is to cut the bell pepper very thin. The first time around I made them very thick, and while it was reminiscent of a spider web, I think it looked even better when I sliced them very thin. Now, because I had to slice them so thin, this took a lot longer than I anticipated, so I like the way it came out, but I'm not sure that I would make this for a party because it would just be way too tedious to make enough for everyone. But for my kid's lunchbox, I was more than happy to take the extra 5 minutes to make it look beautiful, and she loved it. So after I have my bell pepper cut in little half circles, I'm just going to lay them on the flatbread in a way that makes it look like a spider web. So I kind of want to do it in waves, so to speak, so that there's little hills and valleys in the pattern. Then I'm going to add some horizontally that kind of match up with the little dips in my waves. Just position them on there until you feel happy with how it looks. And then I added one bell pepper to go around the outside because I thought that made it look nice and finished. Now, because I had to cut off so much of the bell pepper, I had a lot of extra bell pepper in my salad, but that's okay. I added this little spider that I got from the dollar store to go on my web, and that was it. I served it along with this spider donut, and Acacia loved it. Last up, these 5-minute monster sandwiches. Now, I got this idea from another YouTuber that I like to watch, Can Do Crafts. I'll link her page below because I think she has some really great ideas that you might find value in. She made her kids a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but I'm going to use Nutella and jelly because my child won't eat peanut butter. So I'm just going to use a cookie cutter and cut a circle right in the middle of the sandwich. Next, I'm going to put Nutella on both sides. Next, a little bit of strawberry jelly. And I'm going to put our sandwich together. I'm going to put a little bit of rainbow sprinkles right in the middle, just for some color. And next, I'm going to use this candy corn to make some little monster fangs. I'm going to use some candy eyes and some cookie icing to glue it on there. And I think I'll use 2 more candy corns just to make some horns. And that's it. Acacia smiled so big when she saw this little guy. She thought it was hilarious. Be sure to check out my video on what I did with all of these yummy treats in my daughter's school lunchbox. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed all of these super quick and easy ideas for Halloween themed foods, perfect for a party or a lunchbox. Be sure to subscribe to my channel because there's more themed fun ahead. Also, hit that notification bell so you'll be ready when my next video posts. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.